Welcome to Zack Attack Reviews. Thank you for joining me as I break down the good and the bad of Netflix's big $200 million spy thriller espionage film from the Russo brothers, The Gray Man. Was it worth all that money and investment from Netflix? Let's talk about it. When one of the CIA's most valuable assets, who no one knows his identity, played by Ryan Gosling, gets a hold of some agency secrets that a certain agent doesn't want no one to know about, it incites a global hunt by a bunch of assassins and some of his colleagues who chase him around the world trying to get the data and take him out. Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans are the shining stars here in this movie. Ryan Gosling plays a stoic badass who has a few quips here and there and plays a couple of jokes, but mostly he's just kicking ass and he feels like this unstoppable force with a lot of heart, but a man that has morals even though he is an assassin, and you can really get behind and root for him. Chris Evans, who, obviously he played Captain America, he usually plays really solid, good people in the movies. He is the villain in this movie, and he's playing a unhinged sociopath, and he is having the time of his life. He had me dying from laughter, but he was also scary and brutal, and this is a character I've never seen him quite play before, and it was really a great experience and elevated the movie a lot. I think he did a fantastic job being the villain. Captain America and Winter Soldier is one of my favorite MCU movies, and it's because of what the Russo brothers managed to do with the story and the characters, the action, and the twists and turns in it. And they bring a lot of that over here into this movie, with mixing it with a little bit of Michael Bay action and explosions and some drone shots. That thing that if you saw Ambulance early this year with Jake Gyllenhaal, he brings some of that in here as well, and I think they did a great job sound wise, cinematography wise, and definitely with the action. This is some of the best action I've seen in an action movie in a long time, reminiscent of stuff that you will see in a Mission Impossible movie, John Wick, or even some of the later Fast and Furious movies where it just goes super over the top. But he never gets to that far where it feels like they're gonna go in space. But it's intense, over the top, bonkers in all the best ways, and I really was just engaged with the action at all times. Really well choreographed, and all the actors put their foot in it, literally. And there's a lot of great actors in here, especially in the supporting cast, but I have to say Ana de Armas, who I'm a very big fan of, does a really good job, and Jessica Henwick, who I'm also a fan of, does a really solid job as well, as they both play characters on both sides of the lines here, where everybody's in a gray. There's not really like a good guy and a bad guy, but there's some people who are better than others, and they both play those characters very well. And we really got a bunch of other characters here that I really enjoyed. They weren't fully fleshed out characters, they were mostly used for the plot, but they did as much as they could with what they were given. Obviously the performances by our two main stars and the action is the main draw here, but the story has enough depth where it has some twists and turns and some developments to keep you interested, but it's not super deep. This is definitely an action movie where you kind of can turn your brain off and just enjoy it for what it is. It's not stupid, but it's not like the smartest spy action film you're gonna see out here. It's a straight to the point story that has predictable plot points, but the journey there to the end that you can see coming is really solid. The way they execute some of the ending points was done in ways that I didn't think would be done. So I think it was worth the journey from beginning to end. Let's talk about the bad. So this movie was $200 million investment by Netflix, and I don't know if they did advertisements on top of that, but some of the CGI in this movie does not look like a $200 million film, where I felt like I wish they used some practical effects, especially where there's this plane where you can easily tell that it's not a real plane. And it was one of the more exciting scenes in the movie, but it did pull me out just a little bit when they went outside the plane. But overall, the movie does look really well, but I don't know if it was worth $200 million by Netflix to put in for all this, even though they did trailblaze and go all over the globe. Also, the dialogue in certain scenes was very underrated or bad. It's not every dialogue scene, but there's just certain scenes where I was like, yeah, we could have got a little bit more there. I know you try to rush to the action, but geez, that was a corny line. Let's talk about my verdict. So I had a great time watching The Gray Man. It's a fun action film that mixes some things from Mission Impossible, John Wick, and some other inspirations, while mixing in the Russo brothers style and in it, and having some comedy here and there, but it doesn't take away from the serious moments or the action moments. They don't just stop in the middle of stuff to make some quips. And like I said, Chris Evans was having the time of his life. Ryan Gosling did a great job, and I definitely think it's worth a watch. I just don't think it was worth a $200 million investment from Netflix, but it's definitely worth you turning it on Netflix and checking it out. It's one of my favorite films of the year. Not like top 10 or anything like that, but I really enjoyed it overall. So I think you should check it out and just have an open mind and remember to turn your brain off. With that said, I'm going to give it a B. Did you like it? Did you hate it? If you saw The Gray Man, what would you rate it? Comment your thoughts down below if you've seen the movie. And if you haven't seen the movie yet, you was checking out my review to see if you wanted to check it out. Do you feel like, based on my reviews, this is something you're going to watch? If you're already a subscriber, hit that like button. And if not, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be notified of my reviews, reactions, and ranking lists. And it really helps the channel and the algorithm and all that stuff to build the channel up. And you can watch more of my content right now.